3 days to go and counting until Election Day. Can you believe it? And whether undecided or locked into a candidate, many voters still have many lingering questions. And most of those questions seem to be about the economy. Take a look at this. According to the latest Fox News Opinion Dynamics poll, 49% say the economy is the most important issue right now. So what is it that people want to hear that the candidates are not saying at this point? Let's ask Fox News radio talk show host Mary Walter and radio talk show host Joe Madison. Mary, let me ask you, I think what people really want to hear is clear, concise solutions and not all of this, attacks going back and forth. They want answers because, let's face it, voters are angry.
Oh, you know what? It's amazing. Within, I'd say the last week and a half, what I was hearing was frustration on the radio. And that frustration has gone to absolute anger. And McCain supporters are angry at McCain because you're right, they want leadership and they see this as an opportunity for McCain to just, really be a maverick and really say, you know what? I'm calling it a bailout. I don't support it. My constituents, the people that want to put me in the White House don't like this. They don't want it, and they especially don't want it with all the pork attached to it. And he hasn't done that. And there's a sense of anger towards him for not taking the lead and just not grabbing the bull by the horns, and it's a huge opportunity they feel is just being wasted.
Joe, a lot of voters are saying that they see Obama as taking charge, but they don't like the direction he's going in. They feel like McCain, though, on the other side is blowing it by playing it safe. What do your listeners say?
We're going to have an interesting show because my callers must be like her callers. I mean, it's not only anger, but let me tell you, it's fear. It's fear. I opened up my retirement package today, my 401k. I lost $1,000. I went, whoa. And that's what's happening. We're opening up the envelopes 23 days. And here's what both candidates should say. And the one who says it first will be the one, I think, who will be told that's what we want to hear. One, there will not be a tax cut. We can't afford it. And two, there will not be any additional funding for all these programs that both are talking about. You cannot have a tax cut. You cannot have more spending when you are looking at $1 trillion that taxpayers have got to put up. And somebody has to say that at the next debate.
But, Joe, Barack Obama says that he's going to cut a lot of federal programs, that he doesn't believe money needs to be spent there in order to displace it elsewhere. But he also says that anybody over $250,000 a year is going to be taxed, but any family under $250,000 a year will not be taxed, especially in the midst of an economic crisis. So what does that say for all those who work so hard to start small businesses and are finally getting their feet off the ground to say, you know what, if Barack Obama is elected, you can pretty much throw that all the way because you're going to be spending all your hard-earned money on taxes just because you believed in the American dream?
5% of small businesses make over $250,000. So he's speaking to that 95% that make under $250,000. I had a caller call me and say, okay, I can buy that. I made $250,000. Now, this is a caller, not me talking, but a caller said, I made over $250,000 and I didn't pay a dime in taxes.
All right. Mary, you think that your callers are buying that?
No, and it's funny because I do agree with Joe on quite a few things, and my listeners do agree with Joe on a couple of issues. And one of them is that you cannot afford all these programs, and that's a big question I keep hearing. Oh, great idea. Free health care, free college, free preschool, free daycare.
And you can't afford tax cuts either.
But you know what, though? If you cut taxes, you give people back. If you tax people who make over $250,000 a year, those are the people who drive our economy. Those are the people
5%.
who are out there. They're out there buying SUVs and all those other things, and you cannot count on 5% of the economy to fuel all these extra programs. It's class warfare, and people who feel that there should be an incentive to do better in this country don't like it because they want an incentive to do better. They don't want an incentive to say, well, just make less than $250 and you're great.
All right, Mary Walter, Joe Madison, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Great having you on. Greg?